let's delete it. It's Chris Lipper from On the Bus Sales Training, Coaching, Consulting, and we are doing our year-end / 2022 behavioral goal class, your GPS for business, featuring myself and Renee Murray from Renee's Bookkeeping. And we're going to start with quick 30-second, well, we'll call it 45-second intros. Chris Larson, why don't you start us?
Chris Larson, Adult Environmental. We're a full service mold and asbestos company located in the Hudson Valley, conducting remediation and abatement, anything from small residential jobs to large commercial jobs. If you're ever in need of assistance, we offer free consultations. Again, Chris Larson, Adult Environmental, full service mold and asbestos specialist.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Quick.
Okay, David Quick, Total Cover IT, your IT specialist for business. What we do is we give business owners peace of mind that they can work on their business and focus on their business and not have to worry about things like a cyber attack, system downtime, computer problems. We do this with 24/7 system monitoring and on-demand support for support you need when you need it, both for Mac and PC issues. So yes, we do it all. A good referral for me would be a professional services firm, typically between 10 to 100 employees. We specialize in accounting firms, law firms, architecture, engineering type firms. Those would all be good referrals for us. David Quick, Total Cover IT, where our I is on your T.
Very nice. Renee, please.
Hello, everyone. Renee for Renee's Bookkeeping. We provide bookkeeping services to those busy businesses who want to stay on top of their financial numbers. Giving away your bookkeeping work is always one of those hats you're glad to get rid of, you know? So if you want to take off that hat and have someone else take care of it for you so you can stay on top of your financial numbers, we would love to help you out. We do QuickBooks training as well as help clients go from the old desktop version to the cloud. So if you need anyone in that realm, we'd be glad to help you keep on top of your finances. Thank you.
And a good referral for you are accountants, right? Because they love your work.
Accountants and business coaches are great referrals for us. Yes, they're very happy with our work. Our numbers are accurate, and you know, it gives them something to work with.
Very nice. Angelo.
Good afternoon, everybody. Tri-State Computer Solutions. We provide support for small businesses. We are very focused in the healthcare market. We help healthcare providers transform the business to become more efficient and also make sure they're secure and meeting all the HIPAA guidelines, which can be extensive. A good referral for me is anybody that is in the healthcare space or works with the healthcare space, either a cleaning service or anybody that provides any type of service to healthcare. That would be a great referral for me.
Very good. And I know David Quick has a situation he wants to discuss with you that maybe you guys can collaborate on, and I recommend you both set up a one-to-one together, okay?
Sure.
So maybe somebody put a link in the chat where the other can schedule or something like that. Anyway, so, yep. All right, so this is our last event of 2021, and we can only say it's been quite a year, right? So we had to kind of change directions for a lot of us, and everybody came out of it okay. And most of you had record years, up between 75 and 150%, and that's wonderful. We had 6 virtual trade shows this year. Our calendar is going up for next year, so you might want to start taking a look. I can tell you that we've got 4 virtual trade shows scheduled the first Friday of March, June, September, and December. We have a lunch and learn scheduled, which I'm really excited about, on April Fool's, April 1st, on behavioral goals. So in the past, we've talked about DISC and Myers-Briggs, and this time we're going to focus on the Narrative Big Five, featuring Karen Lee from Narrative, and that ought to be exciting. So today we are here to discuss behavioral goals for 2022. As you guys know, we have a bus pass, a monthly form that we fill out prior to our bus meetings, where we have all kinds of information on there, including behavioral goals. And this is where a lot of that can come from. Renee and I have done this together. I don't know how many years it's been. at least 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. But it's beneficial for all of us. You know, I need to start doing it for myself as well. And I figured, why not start with the chapter from the book? Unfortunately, it's chapter 11, but that's a good chapter, I guess. You know, we had to give it a number on behavioral goals. It's only 3.5 minutes. Our chapters are very short on purpose. So I'm going to share screens, and I will remember to share sound, which I generally forget. Come on, where is that? Hold on. Technical problem. We got to move this. Share screen, share sound, and here we go. If you can't hear it, let me know.
11. Behavioral goals, the GPS of your business. When I do this in person with someone, we start with a meditation. We get a clear vision of where they want to be in 20 years, 10 years, 5, 3, 2, and 1 year. We then start working on behavioral goals getting there, assuming that their goal is realistic. A lot of people talk about key performance indicators and goals. I prefer to think in terms of behavioral goals. KPIs are the results of your behavioral goals, an accounting scoreboard of sorts, if that makes sense. Behavioral goals are something that you can control and track the results of and are tangible. First, we need a goal, and it needs to be a SMART goal. Strategic, measurable, attainable, realistic, trackable timetable. Goals are not KPIs, and KPIs are not behavioral goals. KPIs are a barometer of the behavioral goals that will get you to your goals. What are your goals? Assuming your goal is dollar-based, I don't want you thinking in terms of total numbers unless you start at $0 each day. Think more of the spread. Example, if we're at $750,000 a year now in revenue, and we want to be at $1 million, the spread is $250,000. That's what we'll focus on. What do you need to do to get there? Sell more? If your average sell price is $25,000, how many times does your average ticket go into your SMART goals? 10. So now you have a goal number, 10 sales of $25,000. If your kill ratio on quotes is 50%, 5 out of 10 quotes, how many quotes do you need to hit your goal? 20. Dividing by 12 gives you 1.6. Let's call it 2 per month. Assuming that goal is strategic, measurable, attainable, and realistic, what are the behaviors you need to hit your monthly goal? What do you need to do to be able to write 24 quotes a year? That's trackable, timetableable. It's not a perfect science, but this should get you there. SMART goal $250,000 divided by your average ticket of $25,000 multiplied by your kill ratio of 50% equals 20 quotes over 12 months, which is 1.6 a month, so 2 should do it. Now the fun part. What does it take to get a quote? Networking. 1-to-1, referrals asked for, centers of influence, referrals are given. Break it down. Charity auction, fundraiser. Networking, trade shows, talks. Advertising, social media, blogging, vlogging, cold calling, asking for referrals, and following up on introductions. When you know your behavioral goals, put them on an index card and watch the results. Another example of your goal is to hire people. How many interviews does it take to hire someone? What do you have to do to get the interviews? How many resumes do you need to read? How much time will you need to put aside? How many ads does it take to post on Craigslist to get a resume?
Righty. Okay, so short chapter, but pretty straightforward and to the point, right? Everybody's followed along with that, right? Angela, we're good? Okay, you can unmute, Angela, it's all right.
Yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is start with a vision, all right? If you want to close your eyes, if you want to meditate, that's up to you. But I want you to figure out where you want to be at this time next year. So just think about it. So that can mean a lot of things. It could mean where your office is, what you're driving, what your home situation looks like. I know Renee's going through a change. You know, it certainly has to do with your staff. It could be your org chart and what that's looking like. Certainly has to do with revenue or receivables. But let's get a vision of where we want to be at the end of next year. So the easiest barometer that I know of is revenue in terms of tracking growth. Profit's also one, headcount's another. But what ones do you guys want to use? Does anyone have something different than revenue? Okay, so we'll go with revenue. We're all good with that? Okay. So does everybody know where they're going to finish the year, roughly? So we could use round numbers, $1 million, something like that. So we know where we're going to finish the year about. Do we know where we want to end up next year? You guys can nod or something and just let me know that you're with me. Okay, so
Yes.
let's make up a number and say 1.2. 250,000. Let's go with 1.2, round numbers. Okay, so let's write it down. You guys write down your own numbers. So where you are now, as opposed to where you want to be, and that spread in between. And again, unless you're a business that starts at 0 every year. Chris Larson, what about your company? I don't know, your phone turned colors on me, so I'm not sure if you're still there. But do you start at 0 every year, or do you have some ongoing business?
Our business starts at any open jobs. We don't have recurring revenue. But
Okay.
if we have any jobs that are end of the year there, but essentially it's 0.
So, but are you going to view doing this exercise? Let's use round numbers. If you were at $1 million this year, are you going to be at 1.2 next year? Is that how you're viewing it?
Yeah, my goal is yeah. We had 9 months this year, so next year would be our goal's actually 1.2 million. So number we put on our capital plan for this next year.
It was just a guess. I think there's more than one of you with that number, but just a guess. And anyway, okay. So we've got a spread of $200,000. Can we safely say that? Yes. Why don't we say 250,000 in case we lose some business, right? Because there's always that chance that something may fall off, right? Renee, in your world, that's possible. David and Angelo, you guys that rely on MSP and that kind of stuff, you could lose someone. All right, so if we've got $250,000, here's the hard part, and everybody fights me on this every year, and Renee can back me up on this. She's my muscle, that's why she's here. What is your average ticket? What is your average sell price? And I know what you're going to say. Well, it depends. I understand, but there's an average still. There's still an average. So let's figure out ballpark what your average ticket is. So Chris Larson, can we pick on you a little bit? Can we use you?
Sure.
All right. So what is your average ticket? Do you know? Because you have a wide range of products. You're doing mold and asbestos remediation.
So average ticket for small residential mold and water jobs is 4,000 to 6,000. Average residential mold and large water jobs is probably 9,000 to 12,000, and then asbestos is probably 10,000 to 25,000 for residential, and then commercials significantly 6-figure per commercial job depending on the size.
All right. So for you, I would pick 2 separate ones and do this exercise twice, and we are recording this if you need to go back to it. And let's use round numbers. So you said 4 to 6, let's call that 5. So we got 5,000. And you said 7 to 12, I believe. Let's call that 10, if that's okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, and the 5,000, that was mold?
Small mold jobs and majority of water jobs.
Okay, so mold and water. So how many of those jobs do you need to hit your 200,000? Or let me ask it a different way. What percentage of your business is those small jobs? And you guys should be figuring this out as we go along as well, David and Angela.
Right. So we've been doing some shifts this year more towards asbestos, but that was probably 40 to 50% of our business. But one thing is we do separate water jobs from mold from asbestos, even though they might be on the same property.
Okay, and the $10,000 that was asbestos?
That was large mold jobs, larger residential mold jobs.
Okay, so why don't we call these 7,500 for mold? Is that okay?
That works.
Okay, so mold is 7,500, and asbestos is how much?
Just if I do insurance asbestos, it's usually 15 to 25,000.
So can we call that
So
20 grand?
20,000 on average.
Okay. All right. So if we need, and Renee, this is where your calculator and your big brain comes in. If we need 200,000, I can figure out that's 10 asbestos jobs, but how many mold jobs is that? So like 25?
200,000?
Yeah.
And you said there's $5,000 each?
7,500. 7,500
Oh.
each.
That's 26, like 27 jobs.
Okay, so 27 jobs. And if
But
it was
that's like, he's gonna do a combination, right? So
right,
you gotta like divide each one, maybe.
right, and the mold was 50% of what he brings in.
Okay,
So, and asbestos, how many jobs is that? That's 10, right?
So what?
So if it was just asbestos, we're looking at 10 jobs. We're really talking about you behind your back, in front of your face. Just hang on one
no,
sec.
that's 20 jobs. You said they're $10,000 jobs?
Yes, I'm sorry. No, they're 20,000. They're 20,000 asbestos.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, 10 jobs.
Okay. So,
Is that his goal for the year or the month increase?
that's for the year. That's the spread.
200,000, 250?
Right. We want to get from 1 million to 1.2 or 1.25.
Okay,
But he's got 27 mold jobs. So what if we did half of that? So Chris, clearly you should be focusing on the asbestos. What's the profit look like on these? So you may not want to say that, but let me just say, what's more profitable? How about that?
I get similar profit margins on asbestos and mold. Water is significantly less, but I use water as doing more water jobs finds me more mold jobs, and doing more water jobs finds me more asbestos jobs.
Okay.
So I take my water jobs or my loss leader into asbestos and mold.
All right. David and Angela, you guys are following along and doing something similar for yourselves? You're figuring out kind of like your product line, or do you want to jump in on this?
I mean, we're a little different, I mean, me and David probably, because like Chris says, like he has clients, but then they're not like, most of them, unless they're big corporate clients, are not like reoccurring,
Right.
Repeat clients. But breaking it down based on what you're saying, my average monthly client is probably a little over, 1,100, 1,200 a month. So I'm probably gonna have to, what I need to look at is to add like 15 to 16 new clients next year.
Okay, so 15, this is Angelo, clients at how much, 1,200?
Yeah, let's say.
Okay.
Average. I bet you if I went crunch number, I bet you the average is a little bit higher, but for us right now, let's just use that.
Okay. And David, quick, do you have an idea of what you want to bring in to cover your spread?
I mean, I say, our average client's probably somewhere between 1 to 2,000 a month. I mean, I would probably, I wanted one new client per month.
12 times 1,500.
Say 12 times 1,500.
Okay. Okay. Chris, I had to mute you just so you know, because there was some background noise. All right. So if we look at your, and Renee, are you playing along too, or are you just here helping me?
I'm playing along. I got my numbers from last year kind of up.
And did you hit your numbers from last year? I think you almost did, right?
I was off like 1 month, but the thing is, you know, it might take you a year to achieve some of these things, right? So you go for how much you want every month. And then you have to make sure you have enough employees to do what you want. Like, so you sometimes have to hire in between. You know, there's a few, you know, factors when you are planning your growth. Like you might hit a wall and realize like we're maxed out, and then now you got to hire. So there could be some blips in the road, but we fell short of my goal last year. Not you know, horribly short, but this is a really great exercise for figuring out if you have enough capacity. Like for me, like I know how much my employees can produce, right? So I can kind of see if my goal, if I have enough people, you know, or I maybe need to start hiring. So I already know I need to start hiring.
And I don't want you to feel bad about not hitting your goal, because it was a hell of a goal, but it was also a very difficult year for you between moving a house and you had a lot going on. So
yeah, but I'm not making excuses.
I wouldn't expect you would. You're tough as nails, and that's great. But okay, so what we want to do is we want to take that number, the spread. So let's use $250,000 and divide it by your average ticket. So our average tickets all varied. So David, quick, you take your number and you divide it by 1,500. I know it's 1,500 times 12. Maybe it doesn't matter.
It's you get your total maybe divided by 12 if you can do it in 1 month.
Right.
If you're creating new sales, then you have to divide it by 12, right? But if you have ongoing clients, you kind of have a base, and then you're just looking at what you're adding to your base, right?
Right. Okay. So it's $250,000 divided by your average ticket times your kill ratio. So we didn't discuss that yet. So your kill ratio is when you send a quote, if you send out 10 quotes, how many do you close? So Chris Larson, your number is very high. And I'll ask, you can unmute if you're quiet in the background. And Angelo and David, your numbers probably aren't as high. Your guys are probably looking around 70%, something like that, I'm guessing. I know you guys don't want to flinch in front of each other because you're somewhat competitors, but it's okay. But I want you to think about that if you send out 10 quotes, how many close? Because that's part of this equation, because you're taking your spread number, that 250,000, dividing it by your average ticket times your kill ratio. And this is where Renee's big brain comes in, and David and everybody else. You guys here are better at numbers than I am, but this is a formula that works.
All right, so you take how many clients you need and you divide it by points, like whatever. If you're 75%, divide it by 0.75, and then that'll
Right,
give
those
you
are quotes. 75% to that by quotes. Right.
Right. So if you get like 75% of your quotes, you divide it by how many clients you need divided by 0.75, or if you're 50%, divided by 0.5. So, and that's how many quotes you need to do to get to your goal.
So let's assume we're coming up with 20 quotes. Okay, just round numbers. So if we had $250,000, an average ticket is well, now it's what's 250,000 divided by 20?
Okay.
Somebody with a calculator?
20,000 is
Okay,
12.5,
20,000. What?
is 12.5. Is it,
Okay,
did you say divided by 20,000 or 20?
20 quotes
Oh.
into 250,000.
12,000, what? 12,500?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, okay. It just seemed like a
Okay.
lot.
All right, divide that. No, so now.
You pull my hair out.
So here's where, so we had 20 quotes divided by 12 months. How many is that? 1 point something a month?
Yeah, but, so let me just bring this up. Because if you only did, that, you'd just be getting on your, just be ramped up at the end of the year, right? So you need, if you're generating that, you need that every month if you want to immediately be on target.
Right.
Correct?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling out my calculator now and just double checking some stuff. But all right. So anyway, 20 quotes divided by 12 is like 1.6, right? Something like that a month. Can we call it two quotes a month that we need to get out to hit our goal?
Like I said, this is a little, because if you only did 2 quotes.
If you don't do it in January, then you need 4, somewhere else, or you add
Okay.
1 throughout the year. If you don't do it in January and February, then we're adding 4 throughout the year. But we're just giving ourselves monthly goals here.
Right.
All right. So the behavior where this comes in is, what does it take to write a quote? Right? So Angelo, in your world, what do you have to do to get a quote, to write a quote? How many appointments is that?
Generally, it would be like 1 referral would be good, and then,
Okay.
and generally every appointment generates a quote.
Well, that's very nice.
Because they're meeting me for a reason. So they may not want to spend the money and the quote goes nowhere, but but at least they're meeting for a reason.
Okay. Chris Larson, can you say the same thing? You may not know how to unmute. I think it's like *9 to unmute. There, nope, that was to raise your hand. How about *6? There we go.
There you go. Yeah, for mine, it's really just getting in front of the customer to submit a quote. So really just getting the warm, just even the cold call, the warm lead, just on site to get a quote.
Okay. David Quick, how about you?
I mean, it's not every lead generates a quote. Sometimes they're not qualified. So
yeah,
it's hard to
You say
gauge.
you're a third, a half. What would you think? 1
I
out
would
of
say
10?
say a third.
Okay.
Say ballpark a third.
So unfortunately, you're going to have to work harder than everyone else, but that's okay for you. And Renee, how about you? Your batting average is very high.
About 75%.
Okay. All right. So if we want to have 2 quotes a month, and let's use Renee, and your batting average is 75%, right, of the appointments that turn into a quote, how many appointments do you need to go on a month?
1.5. You're saying if I'm 75?
All right, I think if you want 2 quotes to go out, right?
Oh, I got to go in 2.65 quotes.
No, but how many
So 3.
appointments? How many?
3. I got to go to
appointments?
3 appointments. 3. I got to
3
go 3.
appointments. Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll generate 2 quotes. How about you, Angela? How many appointments do you need to go on?
And these are like new client, like not existing client appointments, new
Right.
appointments. I would say new appointments, I would probably need 3 to 4 appointments.
Okay, so let's say 4. Let's bat high, right?
Yeah.
So 4 new appointments a month. David?
I would say about the same, probably 4 appointments a month.
Okay. Chris Larson?
I would say six a month.
Okay. All right. So we're all between 4 and 6 appointments a month. What does it take to get those appointments? This is the behavior. What do you need to do to generate the opportunities? And this is the trackable part. Can we all agree that networking's on there? Is there anyone here who doesn't network? Silence is golden. We're going to call that a yes. So networking's on there.
But the other thing to meet the goals is maybe also, which I've been thinking about, is like, where are we networking? You know, so that's another.
We're going to look at that. Okay. What about blogging? You guys all blog?
No,
Yeah. We have a
Angela
blog.
does. David
do not
does.
blog.
Chris Larson, do you blog?
No, I don't.
Okay. That might be an area where you could benefit. How about vlogging videos every month? David Quick, you're very good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like at least one video, two videos a month.
Okay.
one to ones, obviously.
Yep. One to
That's for
one.
me anyway.
What about charity events? You know how these charity events ask for a donation where you can put your service in a basket? How many of those? Is that a way
I've
to
done-
generate an opportunity?
I've done them.
What else?
Prospecting.
What does that mean? Cold
It
calling?
means
Oh,
cold
mailing.
calling. Basically running a campaign, the mailings and follow with phone follow-ups.
Yep. Drip marketing.
Okay.
And Chris, your favorite, after referrals.
Okay. What else?
I would say-
Advertising?
Oh, yeah, advertising.
Is that something anybody does?
I've done it.
Okay.
I don't.
I can't say it worked.
So what do you mean by
But I've done-
advertising?
It could be Facebook ads. It could be sponsoring an event. It could be a lot of things. How about trade shows? Trade shows should go on here.
They might start up again. Said next year we're gonna have some physical trade shows.
I meant my virtual shows. But okay.
Well, there's both now.
Yeah,
Again,
I know.
gonna have physical again.
What about the B&Is of the world and the other groups? Not just the networking groups, but some of their other add-ons. Some network, you know, like maybe you join a chamber and you're on a committee or something. But are there other events that we could be doing?
Yeah, I like associations, join associations or some types of groups, like practice managers, associations.
Okay.
Become an advisor for those groups.
Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is go through this list. I can tell you what we said. We said networking, blogging, one-to-ones, charity events, campaigns, phone follow-ups, asking for referrals, advertising, trade shows, associations. But figure out what we need to do here to get our 3 quotes a month. And what are you willing to do every month? And I don't mean you personally, I mean your company, right? So most of you have employees. This doesn't all have to fall on your shoulders, right? There's other people in the company that could network. Everybody who goes on a job should be able to ask for a referral. That should be a checklist item. Okay. All right. So this is the part where we're going to put on our bus passes where our bus members are going to hold us accountable. So I want you all to develop some kind of plan right now that you're willing to do. Those of you that are in BNI and things like that, that's easy. That's 4 events a month. What's not easy is why you're there and where you're going. And the barometer for that is the number of one-to-ones you get. So give yourself a goal. So for me, when I go to a networking event, and David knows this, I have a networking goal of 2 one-to-ones. And if I can't do that, there's either something wrong with me or there's something wrong with the group. And I got to look at that.
Is this a question? Am I supposed to answer?
Please?
Oh, no, there's definitely something wrong with you, Chris.
There's something.
Okay. I meant more along the lines of me not working hard enough or trying hard enough or being distracted.
Okay, sorry, misunderstood.
That's okay. So because I host a lot of the groups, it's hard for me to both host and be chatting with people about having one-to-ones and that kind of stuff. So I give myself a little bit of a pass, at least on the events I host. All right, so Renee, what are you coming up with on your list to get your 3 quotes a month? What behaviors are you going to do?
That's not mine. That's not my numbers.
What's your number?
My numbers are more like 10 a month.
10 quotes. That's a lot. Oh my God. Okay.
Well, that's my, I mean, you know what, if I shoot for 10, whatever. I mean, I already looked at, I'm not at capacity, but if I could, within a couple months, if I need to hire a part-time person in January. And then hopefully another like 4 months later, hire another part-time or something. But yeah, I mean, if I want to reach my goal, I gotta start, getting out there more, doing quotes, and stop getting bogged down with the day-to-day, so that's something in my world. I just got to give up some of my controls, which sometimes is tough as a business owner. So if I can delegate some of my work, then that'll free me up to do more quotes. So
but let me ask you a question. Is there anybody else in your company that could do any of those behaviors? Could somebody else go to networking?
Well, you know what? This is the thing. This is what I want to move myself to more doing the behaviors and stop doing the work.
Okay.
So if I can remove myself from doing the work, train someone. I mean, that's generally what I do anyway, but I bog myself down with a lot of work now.
Okay. And that's a bigger conversation that we've had multiple times.
Sure.
And,
Sure.
and I have that with all of you guys about working on the business versus in it.
Right.
But so, all right. So of all these things, what plan can we make? We're going to do this with everyone. You're just going to be the first. So the things what do you want to commit to doing for next year?
I've got to commit to do more one-to-ones. I got to commit to.
Okay, but I'm not going to let you get away with
10,
just saying more.
10
a month? 10 a month?
Yeah,
that's
10
a lot. Okay.
I'm going to do, I think, prospecting to accountants, like either through trying to get soft introductions to, some people that, if somebody knows an accountant, intros, and then maybe just plain old calling up some accountants and asking them, and then that'll turn into some one-to-ones. Because I mean, accountants.
I wonder if you and David Quick could do a combined campaign or something.
I'm not sure how that would work because my campaign's very specific about offering it. Yeah.
Just a thought.
Maybe
and
we
then
can do like some type of joint event, invite people, security and whatever, something.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
that's
don't know.
another one that's not on the list. What about lunch and learns? Can you host
Like
lunch and learns are great to host right now because you don't have to pay for lunch.
Maybe I'll do like one virtual webinar a month.
Write it down. We're going to go to
cyber.
everyone. I'm just starting with Renee. So Renee, let's keep going. So we got 10 one-to-ones. How many networking events are you going to make a month?
Oh yeah. I got 4 BNIs that I'm committed to at least. So maybe add another 2. So
Okay. All right, so if you just went to 6 networking events and you got 1.5 one-to-ones, right? So not every one you got 2 at, you'd hit your goal of 10.
Right.
Okay. You could also do some blogging and some vlogging at some point, maybe quarterly.
I would have to just kind of get a plan on that. I'm not so keen on it right at the moment.
All right. And what about charity events? Any donations there you want to give? Could you commit to 2 or 3 a year?
Yeah, you could do like those baskets,
Yeah.
QuickBooks training or whatever. I don't know if they've really ever, I've done a couple of them. They've never really panned out, but.
All right, let's not do it. What about mailings, campaigns?
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay. Asking
Sorry.
for referrals, can we do that?
That I should be doing.
Yep. How many times do you think you should do that a month? I'll give you a
Every-
hint. If you're
Every
having 10
time I have a
one-to-one.
one-to-one. Every time I have a one-to-one. I should be doing that.
All right, so I'm writing 10.
Yeah.
All right, advertising, trade shows, associations, lunch and learns, any of that resonate with you?
I could see maybe, I mean, for me, somebody asked me if I wanted to try playing pickleball. And I said, you know what? That might be a good way to get some exercise, network a little bit. So I might entertain that idea this year. We'll see.
Very social game. It's great.
That's what
I
thought
would like to
this
try
year.
it. All right, so pickleball, golf's another one for some people, right? Or walking. Golf, walking. All right. So it sounds
That's
like,
it.
Renee, for
I'm
you,
worn
it
out
all
already.
boils down to networking smarter.
Right, exactly.
Okay, this is easy. So now we can write that in your behavioral goals, right? All right,
I got it
let's
all
move
typed
on.
up.
Let's move on to Chris Larson. So what resonated with you? So I know networking is becoming less with you, right?
Yeah, so I'm actually starting the digital advertising end of Q1. So to me, it's just number of for company, it's quotes per week will be a big item.
It's the behaviors of what it takes to, Chris, it's the behaviors that we're going to focus on, what it takes to get the quotes.
Yeah, so for digital advertising, I don't know how to put a behavior to that one yet. But for me, it's increased regional insurance. So I would say 4 one-to-ones a month targeting being a preferred vendor. And I don't know how to write that in a cleaner way.
Hey, what about for you,
regional
lunch and learns for insurance people once a quarter?
I can go into more detail elsewhere on that, but that's a hard number for me to break into with time at a premium based on what my competitors do right now.
Okay.
But where I'm trying to move, it's where they're not at, which is digital advertising.
Okay, good, fair enough. They won't even know that they lost the business. I like that. Okay. What else?
Yeah, so it's their interviews. I want to be doing probably 6 interviews a month is kind of what we're targeting right now.
Okay, but that's the hire.
So we try to do that hiring, which is critical for us growing, that we found out.
Hey, Chris, what about videos once a month? What if you released a vlog to show people what signs of mold or asbestos look like?
I was thinking of doing that, but more landing pages on my website. So more informational articles. So once a month, try to add a informational article / landing page onto the website. So advertise, hit a search word, and let them drop onto the digital platform.
Okay.
So one informational landing page per month.
Okay. You're writing this down, right?
More of the target. I am going to re-jog it from memory when I'm done driving.
Okay. Or I'll send you each a copy of the recording so you can fast forward to it. But okay. All right. Anything else you think that it will take to hit your goal, assuming it's the same kind of year you had this year, just for the growth?
Big thing is commercial real estate, networking, for asbestos jobs. Those are the whales, that really like make the year grow. So if I get 3 large commercial jobs, that's half my 1.2 million on average.
Right. So does asbestos work? Does it have to do with the age of the buildings?
It does. Yeah. So that's where I target 19. Yeah. So age of buildings is critical.
So if you started hanging out in areas like Kingston and Albany and some of the older areas around here, wouldn't these things be in like pockets?
Yes. So and the more water jobs I can do, the higher so about every 5 water jobs, I'll potentially find asbestos.
Okay.
So that takes a $5,000 job, and I add a $20,000 asbestos job on top of it. So that's the goal. The critical thing for me is ramping up water, which leads me to more residential asbestos.
So you have a true loss leader.
Yeah, it's still profitable, but it's not as profitable.
Okay. So drip marketing is a whole other definition for you.
Yes.
Come on, that was funny. No, nothing?
But John.
Right, okay.
I like
Chris.
All right. So I got to tell you, Chris, the advantage of doing this exercise is some people find out that their SMART goals are realistic, and I think yours is. I think Renee's is.
And I need to backtrack. I need to backtrack to my goals and backtrack it off what my outcomes are, and then backtrack it into goals. So I need to sit down and do a thinking exercise this weekend.
All right. Just create behaviors that we can all help you track, okay? All right. David Quick, did you run off to take care of your client? Is that why you went away for a sec?
Yeah, he dropped off a computer, so we're good.
Just want to make sure. All right, we're going to go to Angela, and then we'll go we'll go to you, David. I got you on here. So let's go. So what are your behaviors for next year that we're going to hold you accountable to?
I'm going to send out at least 100 prospecting letters per month with phone follow-up on each one.
And you've been having some success at that, so that's great. Okay.
Yeah. We started with 10, now we're stepped it up to 25.
So that's a week. So you're talking about a month.
Per week. Yeah.
Right.
So 100 per month.
Okay. What else?
4 blogs per month, so just 1 blog per week.
And that's vlog with a V, right?
Blog. That'd be like boy.
Oh, okay. What else?
I'm debating having like 1 webinar per month. I haven't had much.
What if you did 1 a quarter?
I don't know if it's enough. It might be. I don't.
All right.
I haven't gotten much turnout.
Putting on my coaching hat, what I would recommend you do is then, if you're going to do 1 a month, pick your 12 topics now and start scheduling them, and see if you can't get it down to 6 or something.
Yeah. Well, cybersecurity is very hot, so that's probably would be the focus of those.
Oh, so it'd be the same one each time?
Well, it may be the same or similar. Maybe some. I mean, I can branch off of that. But that's right now. It's right now in the IT world. As Angela probably knows, it's very hot right now.
I think even I know that. But okay. All right. What else?
Yeah. I don't know. That's really. I'd say 2 networking meetings, two networking groups. So that's 8 networking groups per month.
Right. So how many one-to-ones does that equate to?
That would be 8. So I want to get 1 out of each one.
All right. You're writing it down, right? And what are you going to do with those one-to-ones?
I'm going to ask for referrals.
Okay.
So
What
8
else?
events. It's one-to-ones. Yeah, I mean, I've been debating, chambers. I don't know if those are really a thing now.
Okay. You and me both.
I mean, I can meet people without the chambers. I don't know if it's really necessary to pay for a membership.
Okay. And I'm hearing that the online events are winning hands over live events. So
I might look at an association like a CPA association or something like that. I don't know if those are a thing or not.
Okay. All right. So you're committing to doing all these things for next year, right?
Well, the ones I've committed to, the 100 prospecting letters, the 4 blogs per month, 1 webinar per month, 8 events, and 8 one-to-ones out of those events.
Okay.
It's like the base. I might optionally do other things.
All right. Angelo?
Yeah.
What are you going to commit to doing?
Yeah. Well, me and David are doing similar things, on the marketing side. But personally, I've been developing center of influence relationships. So I'm going to have 1 center of influence meeting a month. And then
Who's a good center of influence for you?
I've been meeting with a couple. A good center of influence for me is anybody that's like one of my clients is like a president of an association, court reporting association. So he's one, and then also like anybody that's there's one gentleman that's a software, healthcare software salesman. So he's going into those types of places.
Okay. That's great.
So those types of people. Now, as far as networking event, I'm looking for, like David said, I want to get into an association, so I count that as like a networking, event. So, and be in those meetings. And then the third thing is I want to meet with 1 time and materials client per month, to talk to them about getting on a contract. Even though we send them stuff and whatever, but until you meet with them and say, this is why you need to be on a maintenance contract, then they don't read any. If they're not reading the stuff, so I need to set up meetings. So one a month.
Okay. What else?
Those are my 3 things.
What about blogs and that kind of stuff?
Well, we're doing that. We're doing the blogs, monthly blogs. I'm not doing any video, vlogs, but we're doing.
What about a lunch and learn?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay. Trade shows?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
I these one-to-one things I think will those will convert people and also give me new prospects.
Hey, here's the thought. You run every day, right? For you guys that don't know, Angelo is a compulsive runner, and for years we've tracked he does 30 days a month. So he's out of his mind. But what if you wore a shirt when you ran, advertising your company?
I do wear a shirt.
But I assume that. But what if it said something like, need help with your computers, give us a call, or something? Something bold.
I don't know.
Put all that running to good use.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like I run at early in the morning, and so it's not too many people. I mean, I'll have to think about it. How I would take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully there's some more races this year. So then maybe something that I bring to races where there's a lot of people.
But if you're running around the track in Booten and you see a dozen people and it's the same dozen people every day and you get a client out of that, come on, that's a big win.
Oh, I don't see it. I don't see a dozen people.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
mean, it's not a bad idea. I'm not knocking it. I'm just going to think, what, because I have jackets, I have hats. I mean, maybe a hat, something, something that people are going to look,
I don't know if you have your whole front and back. David Quick, you too. You go to the Y all the time. You're a big yoga guy.
The gyms are pretty empty.
Okay. They won't
There's hardly
always.
anybody there when I go.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, I have had, this is years ago when I used to do some coaching and stuff, like, I go from, I had the magnets and stuff on my car. And I did have people come up to me when I was parked, and ask questions.
All this stuff works. It all works. So I think the message here from this list of, let's say, 20 things that we all came up with is if we can do a little bit of all of it, it'll work. If we're going to just do one of it, it's not going to work. If we're just going to network and not have the one-to-ones and not ask for the referrals, it's not going to work. If we're just going to advertise, but we're not going to follow up, or we're not going to answer the phones, or we're not going to check our messages, it's not going to work. Right? So we need to do a little bit, I think, of most of this. Put yourselves out there. You guys are the face of the company. Most of you are. So as I tell Angelo, stop being under the desk. Stop doing the work. Run the business. Go be the face of the business, or hire someone who will do it. And that's another option. Okay? But you all have a game plan, and you all have very doable numbers. You all had realistic goals. This can be done. I remember last year somebody came out with this outrageous goal, and she insisted on sticking to it. And she developed a plan, and she hit it. So if you stick to this plan, you can hit your numbers, and let us help you. Okay? All right. Anything else anybody wants to go over? All right. If I don't see you, happy holidays, happy New Year, all that stuff. I look forward
Yes,
to
you know what? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year. How about that?
Happy Hanukkah. It's okay. It's okay.
I
to
call
say
it
everything.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Okay, say everything.
Christmas.
And hopefully everybody can go visit and do all those things by Christmas. We'll see what happens with the world. Stay safe.
Yep.
All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Happy New
Okay,
Year.
take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, David. Take care.
Thank you.
Yep, you too.
Oh yeah, did you guys hook up? Did you?